In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 3 tips to check to see if your gyro is working appropriately in your RC drift car. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me bashing and crawling and drifting and racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. One of the passions I have is helping people get started in RC drifting. It's not the easiest thing to do, and there's a lot of questions around it. One of the things I frequently see is people having issues getting their gyro set up or questions of if it's running right. And so I have 3 things that you can check and how to counteract those as you're looking to confirm that your RC gyro works. The most common thing that I see people getting wrong is their gyro is working in reverse operation. So what you should be able to do is pick up the rear of the car. As you pick it up and down or as you turn it side to side, the gyro should do nothing. See how my front tires are absolutely not moving. All right. Then as I move the rear of the car towards me, the front tire will turn towards me also. And the same in the opposite direction. This is how your gyro should work. All right. What you will see is many times people have the gyro reversed, in which case when I start a drift like this, it'll actually turn into the drift and it'll spin the car out. This is the most common mistake. To fix this, most gyros, similar to my Futaba GYD 470 here, have a normal versus reverse switch on them, or some ability within the programming to be able to reverse the gyro direction. So if you see that your car is not doing like this, then you need to be able to go in there and flip the direction and reverse your gyro. The second most common item I see is actually in the controller itself. It is highly recommended for you to be able to control the gyro gain, how sensitive that gyro is working, from the controller. Typically we will use this, depending on the type of controller, in the 3rd channel. Now when you go into the modes, for me here, on this Futaba, this is an old T4PV, you will see that there is actually a gyro mix setting. That is not what I'm using based on how this is set up. I come down here to the channel 3-4 and I have a position here that I can increase or decrease. One of the things that people need to check is I confirm that the gyro is working. If I now bring this all the way to 0, that gyro should turn off. And when I do this now, that gyro is not moving, it is not functioning, nothing is happening with that gyro. In fact, the lights even went off on it because it is now not functioning. It is turned off. This is telling me that I am controlling the gyro with the controller. Now if I turn it back up, there we go, gyro is working again. It is very common. I've run into this multiple times where people are setting the wrong setting. Maybe they're setting, if I get up to it here, like an exponential on channel 3. That's not what they were looking to do. Based on the different controllers that you may use, it's going to be slightly different every time. If you have any questions about the controller you specifically have, put them down in the comments below. Maybe I've had some experience with it and I can help you. But you have to make sure that what you think is happening is happening. The other thing that you got to worry about is the mix operation. I have a couple guys here locally who have somehow accidentally hooked their gyro up to a mix. So the more they turned the steering, the higher the gyro gain went. And that was a handful of a car to drive. The last item that I see a lot of people have issues with is making sure that the end points for their steering is set appropriately. You want it to be to where when you max out on the controller, you're maxing out the steering over here. Now, a lot of them, it is a little bit different per gyro how you do that. Like with this Futaba 470, it actually has a little potentiometer here. As you turn the steering, you can actually limit the throttle over here. With gyros like the Yokomo or the Onsinki or a lot of them, it actually has a push button set as part of the calibration procedure. It's in your manual. The reason why this is important is if the gyro doesn't know where the steering endpoints are set, then it is not going to work sensitive appropriately. It's going to think that it's steering more or less compared to what it actually is. So you have to let the gyro know when it calibrates in its setup where straight is, and then it needs to know where those endpoints are so that it can accurately match the angle of the steering wheel to the angle of the drift and help you in that drift. Now, if you have any questions about what gyro it is that you should be running, I have a playlist of my drift videos that will pop up to your right here. It has all of the different gyros, installation, setup, testing of all the different gyros that I've run. I've tried to test as many of them as I can. That's over here to your right, so you can go over there and check it out and see which gyro is right for you. Hope this was useful. Thank you and goodbye.